What up? What up? You guys know the normal routine. We are going live tonight. It's actually last minute. I know this is the last time we did this. It was also last minute, but I told Brent, I'm like, hey, we got the new team associated B74.2 out, and people are getting it in the stores, and we're getting it in people's hands to go racing with it tonight, tomorrow, or even Sunday. So I'm like, let's go through some of the build notes. Let's go through some setup stuff and talk about the car, what's new, and some setup stuff. So again, guys, for the live stream, for those who are tuning in, if you can give me a thumbs up or a good to go that the audio is clear and working. Also, too, if you can, please like the video. It only helps out my YouTube and Facebook page out. Share it to your friends that might have want to go back and watch it for their B74.2 knowledge. So gonna wait here a few moments and let some people tuning in. So what's up, guys? Chris, David Fouts, Kyle, Mike, Cody, thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, I wanted to kind of do a emergency video for you guys, kind of going over my B74.2 build, going through a lot of the key features that have been changed. I also wanted to kind of talk about my Nationals winning four-wheel buggy from SDRC. Going to be going over and posting in the comments the setup sheet for that car. It's actually going to be written from the B74.2 manual. I wrote it on the back here, and I'm going to basically took a picture of it, and I'll post it in the comments right now. Let me get to it. I'm basically going on my own page to post it, so going on my own page to post it. So it looks like I'm not able to post a photo. I'm going to see if Brent can actually post the picture on his end. Nothing else. If it all fails, I will actually post it after the video's over. It doesn't really matter if you need it right this second or not. So, anyways, wanted to go through the key features of the new car. I can't tell you how many messages that I had to basically defer over for when the new car was coming out, if there was a new car. I'm gonna be honest with you guys that asked me that, it's a question that I'm not able to answer. So in the future, try not to put me in a position where I can't really provide the right information. We're always working on new stuff at Associated. I'm pretty stoked that we're able to keep it on the down low. We're able to get one last fight for a big victory at the Roar Nationals. We actually won the four-wheel drive stock class and the four-wheel drive modified class. Doug Levere won his class, and then I ended up winning mine. We actually got a double podium, so Aiden Horn got third overall. So it was really cool to have go out on a bang. A lot of the features, specifically like the diffs, the LTC gears in my car from the Nationals, the front, center, and rear had the new LTC gear sets in them. I ran 10K in the front, 500 in the center, and 7 in the rear. Obviously, I ran the 13 millimeter shocks on my car, front and rear, 2-hole 1.7s, 32 weight, yellow front spring, 2-hole 1.8s, 27 weight with the blue rear spring. So those are severely big features that helped take our car to the next level. Obviously, with our new car, the B74.2, it's going to be night and day lighter. So with the plastic gearboxes, you'll be able to shed a lot of weight with the front and rear. The rear gearbox is different from the front. We have the adjustable rear diff height with the inserts like the two-wheel drive to shim up the diff to 0, 1, 2, and 3, which is pretty awesome. The front, the only thing that you can do the front diff is the zero diff height in the front or a +2 diff height in the front. So you're not able to use the shims because the front diff is angled on the kick-up. But we figured 0 and 2 is just plenty of options. Feels like the rear is the one that we can kind of do some more fine-tuning on. So we got that all figured out. The car comes with 13 millimeter shocks. Basically a no-brainer. It seems like the shock stuff that we've done all the testing with has severely helped the cars on all these different services tracks. So that was pretty cool. Got the European Championship in Europe. Got the off-road Roar Nationals Championship with the new shocks. So the shocks are here to stay, and I'm looking forward to getting out to more race tracks throughout the end of the year. I know I'm basically nerding out to you guys about all this. So, yeah, I got my car all built up. As you can see, a lot of the new features with the rear plastic gearbox, front gearbox, and then one of my favorite features into the front end is the gull-wing front tower and gull-wing front arm. This is something, I can already see questions kind of rolling in about maybe converting their car over the B74.1 to a B74.2. To be quite honest with you, you'll need a new chassis. You'll obviously need the shocks, the front tower, the lower arms, the front and rear gearboxes. You're basically already at a few $100s just to try to convert your car over. So, in my opinion, I would try to save up, get the new car. With the new features, it's just only going to benefit for you stock racers. That's basically the most popular class in RC racing world for four-wheel drive. The total weight savings, I want to say it's like 20 grams per diff, front and rear. So I want to say maybe the whole car, it's probably 40 or 50 grams lighter. Obviously, that's not including like the plastic gears that you can put in the diffs. And then obviously with the new like lightweight rubber sealed battery strap, that's pretty nice actually addition to the car. I was actually just double-sided taping my battery in, which is a little sketchy, but it was like the lightest way to really get it all dialed in. So yeah, so Matthew Gonzalez just put in the comments his car out of the box, 1674. That has probably no plastic gears in the diffs. He probably does have a titanium screw set, or at least a turnbuckle set. And let me check something. So it looks like I can post the setup sheet on my page. I'll end up posting the setup sheet afterwards. It just will make it a little bit easier and um, a little bit cleaner. I don't want to do it while the video is going on. So for the most part, I'm gonna put the exact same setup that I ran on the Nationals. It's posted on the new setup sheet for the new car. So the only thing that's really going to be different is the gull wing front arms and the gull wing tower. This is going to be a whole new transition for us with the gull wing towers and arms. And early testing development, it was a really interesting change to the car. Kind of utilizing some of the knowledge from the two-wheel drive and developing it into the four-wheel drive as far as the different track surfaces that we race on. So we started to see a lot of more pros to the gull wing style front end on the four-wheel drive, as far as like the corner speed, the jumping, the different grip levels that we see. So definitely highly recommend um, the going back and forth front end. So we're not getting rid of the flat arms and the flat tower. It's going to be an option. So like both carper car and dirt car comes with the gull wing front end for the four-wheel drive. Obviously, the carper car, as you can see, I got one behind me, which I do have to build because I am going to the Minnesota NCTS. So I'm going debuting this bad boy at the Hoosier race, the J Concepts INS at Hoosiers. So I'm pretty stoked about kind of going there for my first time and racing it out with those guys. We can see some of these comments here. There are a few upgrades I'm going to be putting on that should be out soon. I am going to run the V X brace in the front to take away some front flex. It's not currently available. Hopefully, we can order it from the website soon. The only like out of the box stuff that you'll need, unless you have drill bits, I'm running a 2-hole 1/8 rear piston. The car comes with 2-hole 1/7s and 1/6s, so you can drill out the rears to 1/8s and drill out the fronts to 1/7, or use the 1/7s for the front and then get another set of 1/8s for the rear. So that will be basically the only thing I can say that's like a must. Going through a checklist. As far as I'm trying to think option parts goes, this car has no carbon parts on it. That was one thing on the B74.1. We basically ran all the carbon parts just because flex reasons, and the carbon parts are substantially lighter. Um, Once all the parts become available, like the carbon, because we are going to be offering the carbon gearboxes front and rear, the carbon front arms, the carbon rear arms. Obviously, they're the same. At the moment, I have just the stock side rails on. Um, at some point, I will put the ProTech carbon fiber side rails on, maybe from like the next event, because those are a little bit lighter. I mean, the whole goal was just to get the car as light as possible. I mean, every 10 grams that we made the car lighter from the old car, it got substantially better on the track. So I think with the carbon gearboxes, the center splines, the front arms, the rear arms, the side rails, there's another minus, I'm going to say minus another 25, 30 grams just in the plastic. So that's a huge, huge difference. I mean, you're going to be able to get the car below minimum weight easily. We do have some new stuff in the works that I'm not at liberty to say, but it is going to be something that will make the car even lighter. Um, so definitely stay tuned for that. Also, too, I wanted to let you guys know, since we're basically um, a portion of the way into this video, Main Hobbies is doing a promotion on my winning, like the winning Ronats win from SDRC. You're able to kind of go back on Main Hobbies website. They're going to relaunch the coupon code, and you're going to be able to kind of get a coupon discount off of any of the items that I was using in my car, on my car. So like the Team Associated products, the Hobby Wing products, the J Concepts tires, the ProTech items, the Sawbox servos, Fataba radio stuff. So anything that I was using, you'll be able to get a good kickback on any of the items, which is pretty awesome. So Monday, I'll do another post, kind of sharing it for you guys to go back on there, check it out on Main Hobbies website. It's pretty cool that those guys had already launched something a few weeks ago, and then they want to do it again because it did so well. I know there were some items that were out of stock, so if you're looking for something kind of in a hurry, you want to check it out real quick and make it happen. Yeah, so I'm going to be going over some questions. For those who have any of the questions of the new Team Associated B74.2, please put them in the comments. I'm going to go through them all here in a moment. Again, for those who are just tuning in, we're talking about the new B74.2, kind of the build. I'm going to go over some build tips throughout the video. I'm going to be posting a setup sheet at the end of the video on a completely separate post. For those who are watching, if you can please like the video. We're up to, I think, 35 likes. So we had over 100 viewers. So please like the video, share it to your friends, share it to the Team Associated race page. It really only helps out my YouTube channel and my Facebook channel. It takes 2 seconds to do. So let's go back, get some questions. Yep, I see you guys doing some likes already, so that's pretty awesome. So Brian Lukovich in the house, what's up, man? Charlie, Cody, Mike. We have some people tuning in from Hoosier RC. Going through some of these questions, so bear with me here. So Noah's asking, what are the shock towers made out of? Both old car and the new car, it's carbon fiber towers. So the rear tower and front tower, I think 3.5 millimeters thick. Actually, 4 millimeters thick. Carbon fiber towers. Yeah, coming to Minnesota finally. Should be a pretty fun time. I'm looking forward to it. So Dan, yes, I can go over some radio settings briefly with you. I am currently not utilizing the new speed setting. In my opinion, there's been videos from Adam Drake, myself, Lutz, that run the Fataba radios. Me personally, I do not like changing the signal speed that the receiver and the radio communicate with each other. To me, that's that's not something that I really want to mess with the signal speed. If you are trying, what I do is I like to slow down the mechanical speed, which is the servo speed specifically. So I only mess with the speed of the servo, which I run with my four-wheel drive 92 on the forward and 92 on the return. Two-wheel drive is in between 92 and 85 or 95. Both forward and return settings have to be the same for it to feel symmetrical to each other. So hopefully that helps you there. It is a setting that people do adjust, the new feeling setting. That is something that people from Samoa, they have their own little setting that they call it. I don't really remember off the top of my head, but definitely, in my opinion, you do not want to mess with that. So yeah, Mark, yes, that is a great question with the front wheel that I'm using. I am still using the J Concepts 22X wheels. That's basically the 22X slash B74.1 slash 2. That's the front wheel that I'm using. It's the wider version. It's kind of to match like the X-ray front wheel. I do know that there's some other cars out there that still kind of rock the B64 front wheel, but I'm rocking the wider front wheel, but I am running a 4 millimeter front hex. The car comes with 5 millimeter front hex. That was the other thing that I did forget. I do run the 4 millimeter front hex because of the wider wheel. So hopefully that helps. It is in the setup sheet about noted for the hex. So when you guys see it at the end of the video, that's when I post it, you'll be all dialed in. So why the change in the design of the turnbuckle ends? Great question. I'm not 100% sure on what exactly all went into tail there, but I do know from personal experiences when putting your 2.0 through the hole, for instance, on the old one, the material or plastic wicket kind of warped out and it kind of looked a little jagged, I guess, in my opinion. So the little slightly bigger hole helps with just not having any issues fatiguing any of the material. So in my opinion, I think it's a little bit less friction So in the manual, it does say if the ball cup is a little bound up, you are able to take a wrench and kind of squeeze the ball cup to make it a little bit freer. This is an old school trick. Um, so mine were pretty free. There was a couple here here and there that I had to like just snibble on a little bit, and it was good to go. Yeah, the car. I mean, I just got mine built today, so I've been still adjusting from my trip back from the Worlds in Spain, and it's been quite um, the last few days. I mean, I've been home since the 11th, and I still don't really feel I'm back on schedule. So one of the new features about the new car is the battery options you have. You are able to slide the battery back and forth with inserts to space it forward, or put the inserts in the front to space it back. Mine's all the way forward with the light battery. Um, the balance of it is, uh, I would say, pretty much the same balance as the old car as far as like the front and rear, side to side, but just total weight front to back dramatically changed. Yeah. So Chris Carr, what's up, buddy? Um, Basically, the LTC gears versus the HTC gears. Under load, the gears, the LTC gears will have less lock under a hard load, so they'll kind of free spin a little bit more um, versus the HTC gears. So we've been noticing with the super high grip tracks that, for instance, when running on slicks, it's super high grip. The tire friction with the dirt is super high. And with the HTC gears in the front, center, and rear, it seemed like the car would be like under high speed turns or low speed 180 turns, that it would kind of feel like the car would just stall and lock. And with the LTC gears that have less friction, allows the car to free spin and not lose much corner speed. Now, there is definitely a um, time and a place for them, but for the way things are heading for us in off-road, carpet, and dirt clay tracks, the smaller gears just definitely seem to just be more fluid, less drag in the gears. Um, so it's pretty much it was an we originally with the old car, the B64, we really didn't know much about that department of what the gears were compared to other competitors. And then we started kind of seeing what was going on, learning from the stuff we have for our 8 skill cars. And it was something that we just wanted to really test. And it was like, boom, no brainer. As far as the corner speed help, the jumping and landing, and just for letting the car free spin around the corner, it was just dramatic how much better it was. Obviously, with the plastic versus metal, the biggest difference is just the weight, the total weight gram wise. Now, I don't really know a total measurement per diff, but I could have sworn I thought it was like 8 or 10 grams per diff. I don't know. Maybe Matthew Gonzalez is still on here and he might know specifically, but um, also too, when you do make the gears inside lighter in the diff, it will also change the effect of like the diff oils that you use. So it is possible with the metal gears, or does it matter lighter or heavier? For instance, if you run um, 10K in the front, 10K in the back with the metal gears and you put plastic gears in, it might feel on the track that it's a thicker diff than it really is. So you might need to drop it to like 7.7 to make it feel the same performance as it does with the metal gears. So statically feeling it will feel different. So hopefully that clears some things up there. Brian, unfortunately, well, not really fortunately, unfortunately, but I will be out of town that weekend racing the NCTS in Minnesota. So that will be a race that I will miss. We're going to be debuting the new car in 2 weeks from now, week and a half at the Hoosier RC race, the J Concepts INS at Hoosier RC. So that will be the first appearance for us. So the shock oil that I'm running is 32 in the front with 2-hole 1.7s, and then the rear is 2-hole 1.8s with 27 weight. Yeah, Mason, this is a good question. I am running the 7-inch wing on all my cars. I will not ever, ever, ever put a 6.5-inch wing on my 10 scale cars. The only way, I mean, it is something that you can do, but the only reason that I'll put the -2 wing mount on the 4-wheel drive for the diff height stuff is if I needed to, when I'm adjusting maybe the diff heights. So I know maybe for the super high grip stuff, that's something that we can definitely try. At the moment, it's not something that I really thought about, but it is something that we do have an option. Cody, this is a good question. Just maximizing the front corner speed, making it, asking the absolute most out of the car without flipping. So that's the goal. We think that the going direction is the way to go. We are still going to offer the flat arm package, and the flat tower. So it is a combo. The front end change is the front tower and arms, and then if you run the flat arm, so here's both differences. I'm not sure if you're able to see, but this is the new car. This is my Nats car. I'm gonna be running Smoothie 2s. Pretty much a no-brainer for me. So good question. We actually have a lot of good questions. There are some new bearings involved in the new car. For the most part, the 10x15x4, the differential bearings and the hub bearings are all the same. The only bearings that are different are the ring gear bearings. It's a 5x10x4, but they're for phalanged. So the front and rear have that on the pinion, just for the most amount of durability that we've been learning with our 8 scale stuff. So yeah, Chris is commenting. The bearings are pretty free. I can't really complain. Maybe we'll see some J Concepts bearings for the 10 scale stuff. Once again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We have 110 viewers. For those who are just tuning in now, we're talking about the all-new B74.2. Got my car all built up. Talked about some setup stuff. I will be posting my setup for the car for you guys to put it on for this race weekend or next race weekend. It's basically my winning setup from the Nats. I know you guys were asking all about it. So I am going to be starting with the exact same and going from there with the new car. I'm going to be going through some setup tips, a couple of small things that I think you'll definitely need to do to make it pretty dialed in. For those who are tuned in already, if you guys can please like the video, share it to your page or to a race page, just to help any customers out that may want to get a little ahead of the game on setting up their car. So thank you again for tuning in. So we're getting some questions in about the shocks. What's the difference? There's a lot of things going on that I really don't know if I have, wouldn't say the patience, but the whole idea was to have more fluid in the body. The piston size got bigger, but as well. So the pressure is going to be a lot different. The car weight is a lot different. It's been a big improvement as far as the jumping and landing, and also the consistency from track to track as far as the tuning. There are a lot more things going on. I know a lot of people are running the 3-hole pistons. The 4-wheel drive, it seems that we're running the 2-hole pistons, but the 2-wheel drive, since it's a lot lighter than the 4-wheel drive, we're running maybe some 3-hole stuff. My car at the Nationals, I believe I have to go back to my setup sheet. Been doing a lot of 8-scale running, but I believe it was just 2-hole. But yeah. Can you put the new battery strap on the 0.1? I don't know exactly if you can. The chassis is different, so there are some holes that weren't there. And I believe, for instance, actually I have a chassis protector on, but there's 2 holes here for the battery strap. The front one might be the same, but the small hole, I'm not 100% sure. I don't believe you can. Larry Tom in the house. So, anyways, we can kind of go through some of these build tips. For the most part, some of the tools that you'll need. I'm going to get them out just to show you now. Kind of a sanding stick. This reamer tool. I'll kind of show you here in a minute what actually is going on. So one of the things when I was building a car that kind of bothered me, and it's totally hit or miss just because of the mold shrink, or just simply some stuff in the holes, but is the arm slot front to back, the actual shim itself. This is what I'm actually kind of shaving. I kind of just put the shim on here, and I just kind of get my calipers, and I'll take like 0.2 or 0.3 millimeters off the shim just so the arms can move front to back. As you can see, like the rear, I don't know up close, but front to back on the cord is really important, and then along with the front. So I have just a small amount in the front. Basically, when you put all the C and D arm mounts on, A, B, C, and D mounts on, and you put the mounts in, you screw it in, and the arms are just like stuck, and they don't like slop or flop front to back or side to side, or dangle, is what they would call it, like this with the arms. It's too tight. It's super bound up. It's not good. You want to have a little bit of slop front to back, and you want to make sure that the hinge pin goes through the arm pretty free. So I bought this reamer tool on McMaster-Carr. It's a 3.5 millimeter reamer tool. You can kind of see what it looks like. But here's a front arm. You can use a drill, but you can see I'm pushing it through, and it's a little tight, which means that this arm is be a little bit bound up. But you can use a drill, kind of go through. You can kind of see that there's some material coming off. It's just super thin shavings of plastic. And the arm will be really free now. That's kind of like the speed tips that I do. I do it with the rear as well. Here's a rear arm. You can see there. So pretty free. You don't need much. You don't want it to be super sloppy. You don't want any bigger than 3.5 millimeters. So that is basically most of the speed tips. So one was reaming out the armhole, so the hinge pin goes through there super free, and the other one was shaving down the arm shim to space the arm front to back. That definitely needs to be shaved down 2 or 3.2 or 3 millimeters, or just enough to have a little bit of front to back slop. So when I did it on my car, I wasn't able to do that front to back slop. So if your car does that out of the box, then that's perfect, but sometimes that's not always the case, and you'll need to do a little bit of some tuning there. So you need either a nail filer, or this is a tire sanding stick that I just use in my box. Or you are able to get like these reamer tools. These also work. I'm going to go through some of the diff or some of the manual just to confirm any other setup tips. If you guys have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. The reamer tool is 3.5 millimeters, so it's just called a reamer, 3.5 millimeter reamer. You can check it out on Amazon. Also, too, for like a speed sticker that we're doing, the piece right here, the spindle with the carbon shim right here, I am shaving the access material off so the car actually has more steering throw. So it's basically this part right here. When you bolt this on with the 2 screws, you'll see basically a step underneath the carbon piece, and that is basically like a millimeter and a half. And I use an X-Acto blade and I shave it off so that the car actually physically has more steering throw. We left it. We didn't want to completely take it off because by stock, that's how it was designed, and it's basically that's how all the cars on the market as much. That's the steering throw that everyone has. But basically, we were adding more steering throw, so it is an option. It's basically the material taking off right here. I don't know if you can really see it, but yeah, right here, that's the little nub that I shaved down, and that's what actually gets thrown on the spindle. So that's that. What else was there? Another speed secret tip: when you're building your center diff with 500K, in my opinion, don't rush it. Literally, you put the one gear in, build that up, put the 500K in a little bit at the bottom, just so it's there, and then put all 4 gears in the cup, like as you can see here, and then put some more 500K in, and then go outside, leave it in the sun for overnight. So let the gravity work its magic. Let the air bubbles come out. Spin it a little bit, like halfway through the day, just to kind of get like the gears moving a little bit. But I wouldn't. It takes me a day and a half to build the center diff properly, just to get it completely full, no air bubbles. It makes such a big difference on the track of having a properly built center diff. So, no, don't rush it. Dan, I did a YouTube video showing how to glue the front sidewall bands. Check it out on J Concept's YouTube channel. or I believe it's on mine. I'm not 100% sure, but it's on there. So I have someone tuning in. The question may have already been asked. The default front diff height is 0, and you are able to change it from 0 to +2. I would say the +2 conditions that you would want that in: extremely high bites. When maybe if you're running ride height around 12 or 11, that would be the only reason to get that to run that diff height. I've tried running the diff height a little bit higher on the old platform, and I've never ever liked it. Jeff, yeah, I used to cut the sidewall bands to make them an overall size smaller, but I'm no longer doing that. I put them in full blow, and I only glue the outer part of the ring, not the inner part. I can at some point, maybe at the next J Concept race, I'll do another video doing a sidewall gluing video, or excuse me, side band, inner sidewall band video update. We have Danny Stockman in the house. What's up, brother? You at the Georgia carpet or the Georgia race that's happening this weekend? Danny, you need to try the LTC gears in your H-Go car, front and rear. That might have some serious magic. I'm not gonna lie. If you got them. Only in the front and rear. 15K front, 7K rear. Adam Peters says 10K rear. I think 7 or 10 is good, but yeah. Danny, the LTC 8 skill gears, front and rear only, might have some magic for those style tracks out there. 10K in the rear, 10 or 7 in the rear, 15 in the front. Good question. What's my favorite basher truck? The MT8 car. I actually have seen all the like Traxxas, Arma stuff, and from Associated, the MT8 is very close to those guys. I've been bashing the absolute crap out of my Associated MT8. I haven't broke it. The only thing I did was tighten the servo saver max tight. And rocked it. Yeah, Danny, I'm talking about the internal gears, not the ring and pinion. The internal differential gears that go inside the diff. I have a new people joining in here. Thanks for tuning in. Anyways, guys, that does it for me. I'm pretty stoked to get you guys out there with the new B74.2. Got to talk a little bit about my Nats car. Gonna post a setup right after this video is over. Went through the car build, some setup stuff on the new car. This thing shedded a lot of weight. I'm super stoked to get it out there. The new LTC gears in this thing, the new gearboxes, the new shocks, new chassis. Pretty freaking stoked. So, anyways, guys, thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to sign off here, get that setup sheet posted for you all. Hopefully, you guys are getting this thing built up tonight or tomorrow, or are going to be ordering yours here soon. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to hit me up, or any of the team associated guys, Dustin Evans, Aiden Horn, Lee Sester, Cole Tollard. We're all here to help you out as much as possible. And again, thanks for tuning in. We had 115 viewers. That's got to be the highest it's been in a few months. I appreciate you guys watching. I see we have a bunch of likes, and hopefully you guys share it to your page. Once again, have a good night, guys, and we'll see you at the next race. Who's your RC? Let's go.